Doesn't matter. We didn't miss much of it. Rather you missed the just introduction of myself, but that really doesn't matter. So what are we going to do? We're going to do an introduction of the subject. What's marketing? I'll give you a bit of a history on what is marketing.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir. Can you please just show the previous slide, like the course and the assessments and all?
Sure. If I know how to do it. Yeah. Is some error here?
Yes, sir, it's showing. Thank you.
Okay. You happy with it? Or you want me to increase any one of them?
No, that's it, sir. Thank you.
Why? Okay, fine. Good. Yeah. So you're going to have 2 assignments. Good. I mean, I know, okay, for guys who are eventually we'll know our names. All of you know mine, but in the next 20, 25 minutes, we'll all know each other better. So guys online, when you are speaking, just mention your name and then say, this is Ramesh and this is what I want, so that I get used to, now I can link the voice to the name at least, and eventually to the face.
Sure, okay. Sir. Rupesh here, sir.
Yeah, hi, thanks, Rupesh. So you're going to have 2 assignments. The first assignment is technically already on the LMS. It's going to be a group assignment. You may not know your group yet, but you will eventually know. It's going to be a group assignment. You're going to work as a group, you read the assignment. Okay, good. So I'll give you a bit of history of what this marketing is all about and why we should take marketing seriously. You may have some notions about marketing, a misconception about marketing. Marketing is a dirty word. Marketing makes our life miserable, and things like that. But we'll understand that. We'll also realize the role of marketing in an organization and why, in my opinion, marketing is the sole individual bread earner for any organization. We'll look at the nuances of marketing, meaning the finer aspects of marketing. Everybody can play cricket, but you need to play like Sachin. That takes years of practice. So we'll look at what we can do to understand the finer aspects of marketing. And marketing for a long time is considered an art of marketing. Wrong. Period. Wrong. If you, how do I learn to go back? Yeah. If you look at it, half my life, I didn't even know the word marketing. I was into RF and microwave. I was into program management. I was a technical. I was a director of engineering, and then landed up in marketing. So marketing is definitely not an art. It's a perfect science. It's almost a perfect science. Okay. And adopting marketing to business. We'll also discuss about how do we adapt marketing to business, why our lives is good. There are 2 kinds of business. One is business to consumers, and the other is marketing to consumers and marketing to business, B2B and B2C. So you already know a few terms. We'll spend less time talking about those few terms. We'll add in new terms. Evolution of marketing, you all can read this. This is what it is. This is your book, Marketing by Philip Kotler. No need to write. No need to write. Spend listening to me. It's the new world. It's a new technology world. You go home, download the slides, download the PPT, go home, listen to it. So don't just absorb here. So what is underlined in red? It's going to be very, very brief. Marketing, I can't teach you everything of marketing in 18 hours. What's in blue is something that I expect you to read. So what will eventually happen is I'm going to be talking about the ones which are not circled. And by the time you finish your 18 months or 24 months or do a specialization, of course, all of this would be covered. Okay. Any questions? Rupesh?
No, sir.
No questions. Okay. So course content, EPG 103. You know what is EPG 103? Huh?
No, sir.
Yeah, EPG 103 stands for marketing management. So when you write an exam, use that code. So I've just put that so that you guys get used to it. EPG 103 is this. Possibly 104 is accounts or something like that. There are 4 subjects that you're going to do. So next term, you're going to have EPG 20 something. So there's a structure, there's a framework that comes from Philip Kotler. And my advice to you is when you want to buy the book or download the book or whatever, the earlier the edition, the better. So don't go for the latest edition. Go for a lower edition. It's because you're still getting into the basics of it. Then there are hundreds of other books that you read. And we're going to, every term I've been changing the course cut. What was taught 2 terms back and what was taught in the previous term is different. Because I've brought in some new content, I've got rid of some really old ones. Like I can't spend too much of time teaching you SWOT analysis because you know what is SWOT, right? I'm sure there's nobody who doesn't know SWOT, but if somebody doesn't know, lift your hand. So it's strength, weakness. So why should we spend precious time taking about it? We'll talk about something else. We'll mention SWOT, give you an idea of what is SWOT and move forward. Okay, so something like that. So I'm picking up stuff from, is there a pointer also? I wish there was one. How do I point it? I don't. Okay, it's okay. I'll get used to it. Okay, so I pick up stuff from Harvard, Stanford, and other gold standards on marketing management. Lots of case studies. Case studies are very important. If you don't know what if you had my dad used to always say online swimming classes. Never going to work, right? So you need to study case studies. We'll do a lot of case studies. Actually, you're going to begin with a case study in your assignment. Okay. And so we'll do all that. Then being a management course, I'm only going to give you directions. I'm not going to definitely not handhold. I'm only going to give you a direction. After that, you have to learn it on your own. You have to use your brains. Because there's going to be one case study or one assignment for 20 groups. So you need to be smart enough to be top of that 20, which means that all the 20 are going to think alike. You not only have to think alike, you need to add some additional spice and all that stuff. Okay. Then you're encouraged to ask, interact, and question. That's brilliant. But just make one thing clear. I'm here to teach and you're here to learn. So just make sure that we know where each of us are. Then what else do I have? That's all, nothing much. I hope I have not threatened you. Looks dangerous, the class. Oh, then I have not done my job. Okay, good. This is Philip Kotler, very much alive and working. He just completed 90 years recently. Correct. May 27th. I think we might be talking to each other when he celebrates his 91st birthday. So if you have time, I encourage you to watch his videos and all that. He's quite active. He's quite active on Twitter. And so that's what it is. He's called the father of marketing. We'll use most of his terminologies and his methods of class. Okay. What's your obligation to the class? Your obligation is to complete the Google form within deadline and complete assignments within deadline. The one word that you better get used to is deadline. And upload to the LMS. Virtually, I don't have the powers to extend the deadline. So come back and tell me, sir, it's not well. I was watching IPL, couldn't complete the course. Honestly, even I would be watching IPL with you, but I'll not be able to do anything. Okay, so there will be group assignment, individual assignments. You are expected to read the PPT in the previous class, and you will be quizzed in the beginning of the next class, right? So now it's time to introduce the students. Now I have over 50 students. I guess they're not 50, they're about 20, but there are a lot of you online. So how do I get you all to introduce yourself? That will take our class till 4:30 and we can say enough for today. But that will not be correct. So We make your introduction very, very brief. But do you know your classmates? Some of them. Okay. And for the student, the idea is how do you stand out in the crowd? For example, the moment I saw her, I noticed her because she looked familiar and she was there yesterday at Professor Rajan's cabin. So what I'm going to do is to use two ideas, which will allow you to introduce yourself in a nicer way. The two ideas are called elevator pitch and Twitter messaging. Does anybody know what's an elevator pitch? Anybody online? Somebody said yes.
Trying to fit an elephant into the nano.
Yeah. How do I say? Hang on, online, talk offline. Okay. Yeah. Explain the content within the short time of the elevator or the lift. Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. I'll give you a minute to think of an instance and then come back. By the time I'll talk to her. Go ahead online. Yeah, go ahead. What is an elevator pitch?
Sir, I'm Sandhya, and I just said that elevator pitch would be trying to fit an elephant into the nano.
An elevator pitch is it trying to fit an elevator into a manhole?
No, sir, an elephant into the nano.
An elephant into
the nano car.
In a manhole.
No, sir, nano car.
Into a nano. It's the same thing. And an elephant into a nano and succeeding.
Okay, I missed the last part. Okay.
Sir. No. Hang on. And succeeding. Now let's have, what is your name?
Sandhya, sir.
Let's yeah, Sandhya, you've really lived up the evening. I'm sorry that I missed the nano to the manhole, but nano anyways in the manhole. Yes, it's gone now. So can you? Now I'm going to ask Dinesh to give me an example, and I actually listened to your class at around 9:45, 10, and I noticed there are moments of silence. The moments of silence is when one of the student in the class is speaking. So I'll try to make up for you guys online by just paraphrasing whatever he says. So give me an instance. Can I sit here like this? Okay, so give me an instance, Dinesh, of elevator pitch. With Mukesh Ambani. His office will never give you an appointment, but it so happens that you land up on the same elevator as Mukesh Ambani. Continue. I'm helping you create the story. Within that short time, because Mukesh Ambani is going to the 25th floor, but your office is on the 5th floor, and you will never get out of the 5th floor. You will make sure that you go till the 24th floor so that you can talk to Mukesh Ambani longer. And in that short time, understand why the product that you're proposing is excellent. And at the end of it, at the 25th floor, he should say, Dinesh, aajao aur baat karenge. Correct? If that works, brilliant, right? If all of you got the concept of an elevator pitch, just 1 minute, okay? Try this only on business. Don't try it when it comes to love affairs. Okay? Not going to work. She will get out in the 5th floor. Okay. Now, what's Twitter messaging? How many of you are on Twitter? And if you're on Twitter, you should be following me. Okay. My Twitter ID is at nramesh101. Follow me on Twitter. So what is Twitter messaging? What is Twitter messaging? Oh, you don't message on Twitter. Fair enough. Okay. Very nice. Twitter messaging is the ability. Twitter said, I'm going to limit it to 130 characters. Within 130 characters, how do you introduce yourself? Now, there was a time when Mukesh Ambani himself ran a Twitter contest. Not for everybody. He ran a Twitter contest for guys of IIM Bangalore and said the guy who comes up with the best Twitter resume in 130 characters is going to join his team. So you should be able to tell so much about yourself in so little words. So how do you smartly use those words? And now, of course, Twitter has increased it from 130 to 280 characters, but that's incidental. So I'm going to use the idea of an elevator pitch. The meaning of an elevator pitch is here. The meaning of a tweet here. I want you to pay attention to this portion of the slide. And I just moved the slide. Okay, this portion, this is definition and notes. This is where you will do the reading. What is an elevator pitch? This mentions it. This is the slide where you read. But since I'm going to use this more as a guide for our conversation. So I'm going to ask you to use the Google form and introduce yourself within 200 characters. Now, how do we do it? For example, this is my Twitter introduction. You saw my long introduction in the previous class or in the previous slide. And I'm going to say, enjoyed a roller coaster ride, engineering to entrepreneurship. That's to tell you that I was an engineer. Now I'm doing an entrepreneurship. 60 now, so you know how old I am. None listen to me at the home, so I lecture MBA students. So I'm just telling you what am I doing. I'm a South Bangalorean, so you know where I live. Choosy on the coffee I drink, so you know that I'm very fussy about coffee. I virtually don't drink coffee unless and until the place is good. Okay, I support CSK over RCB. Now that could be a problem in Bangalore, but it's okay. I don't mind. Because Bangalore doesn't have any Bangaloreans in the cricket team. So this is 30 words in 193 characters. So now get into your own Twitter stuff. Now, if I can get rid of this end show or not end show. End show will go to, okay, fine. How do I?
So is this the same link that you pasted yesterday?
No. That link is for that. I don't know. That link is for a pre-class introduction. This link is for your introduction, whatever that means. Okay. So take this link and fill in the Google form. If you find it very difficult, can I ask one of the online guys if you can post this link on the WhatsApp group? Okay, post this on the WhatsApp group so that the ones here can access it. Who would do it? One name that I recall, Rupesh. And if we don't trust Rupesh, what are the other name we had?
Sir, it's done already. Just now I posted it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the meanwhile, I have some work to do. So guys, log in. And I will have something else to do. You can access the link. So you got 15 minutes. You got 15 minutes from 203 to 218 or whatever. Okay.
So, Professor, this is Ashutosh. Sorry to bother you right now. The other person, other of my class fellow was right. This link was posted yesterday or day before yesterday. I completed right now. This is not allowing me to fill it. It says contact the owner.
Is it saying that?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Same here.
You're on the possibly on the. Okay. Sorry. It happens. We are all human beings. Nice one, no? Just managed somehow. Hang on, guys. Hang on. This is the link for section B. Okay. Now let's see. Hopefully this should work. Let me see. Now let's see. Okay. Sorry. Ashutosh, thank you. Now, can you try this, Ashutosh?
Yep. Trying, sir. It's opening up.
Opening up, right? Yeah.
Yep,
Can
it's
one
working.
of you?
It's working.
Yeah, so one of you can put it on WhatsApp. Okay,
Yeah, it's Rupesh here, sir. Again, I have put this.
you are a good guy. Okay, thanks. Now, in the meanwhile, I need to. Why are we using this? Is it working? Any problem? Huh? Any problem? No.
No,
Sir,
I just nothing.
Working.
yeah, it's working, sir. Rupesh here, sir. Sir, I have a doubt. Does the company you work for have a customers or users? If yes, who are they? That's the question.
Yeah.
So I work for Amazon and I'm the customer as well.
Up to you. You do what, answer whatever you want.
Oh,
Answer
okay.
whatever you want. Answer whatever you want. Shit. This is... Yeah, any other questions? And let me know if you have any other questions. Now, Rupesh, who was that? Rupesh, you were the one who said you were with Amazon, right?
Yes, sir.
I like to look at your response. Okay, so I now have all of you here. Can whoever is doing that noise, can you mute it, please? Okay. Working? The link is working? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello, Professor. Even the first link worked for me. This is Nagendra Prasad here.
Yeah. First link will also work for you because that is for section A.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, and so
should I do
don't
on
go
the
to section A. Go to the second link.
Achha.
Unless you want to switch the section. Not a great idea. Right? Okay. What about you both? Working? Dinesh? Working? Okay. Done. Completed. On the way. Somebody is already done. No, not yet. Who's the tallest person in this group? You? Can you reach this and put it out? Oh. It's confusing us, right? Yeah, just take it out. Yeah, we'll keep it. I know. You're not. You need somebody else to tell you, right? Oh, there you go, Riaz. Working in sales department. Very good. About yourself? Oh, that's what you're describing. Does your company have any users, but who they are, you haven't mentioned that, Riaz. Okay, no problem. At least you're letting me know that this link is working. I have to see the lighter side of you. Okay, I have to see the humor in you as well. Okay, so take 13 minutes to focus on this section and 2 minutes to answer on the other sections. By answering who are your customers, you're just giving me an idea of how depth you know about marketing. But I really want to see you come up with some nice answers. Let me get some names here. Let's see who are all there. 37 of you. Anup, are you with me? Ashutosh, we just spoke. Chaitra.
Hi, sir. Anup.
Yeah, hi. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This whole section. Chaitra, how are you?
Fine, sir.
Okay, making sense. Bhavna.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Netra, of course, we'll now start knowing you a little bit more shortly. Then who else should I mention? Good. Okay, I'm getting some responses. Let's see. Mahesh Kumar works with Telstra. Basically, love reading crime novels. Big cricketing fan, chai lover, and have a weird sense of humor. And working as a procurement specialist, positioned as a duty manager, handling escalations. Very nice. Good. Mahesh, good to know you. IT veteran, all-round experience, joined MBA at 50 to beat the corona boredom. Good fun. Nice. Hope you learned something at this exercise. I hope I can contribute. Myself, Shankaran M, an engineer from Shankar M, from Dharwad, currently staying in Bangalore. Okay, good. I'm a senior .NET developer. I work for internal project. I also work for US clients. I am from Sirsi now, and I'm crazy about watching series. Wow. Which series are these? Trusted. I'm an ambitious Delhi guy from Delhi working for a bank as VP. So there you see, I'm getting to know all of you very well now. Sweta, but of course, I know you now. I know Ashutosh, the guy from Delhi. Always curious to learn about new challenges and constantly higher goals. Trust and respect for all. 20 years in accounts, 18 years studying, 3 years enjoyed life. There, good. Young lad with a degree in BCom, have a year experience in ATM department, HDB. Support RCB over CSK. Sandesh, you made a big mistake. You are on the opposite side of my support. Ganesh, requirements engineering for product development. Most of the time on the grounds, trips and holidays with family during festivals, no excuse. Shruvadeep from Bangalore. Any of your names are, when I'm reading out, if it's you
Yes,
here
sir.
in the class, just lift your hand. So what was that?
Yes, sir. Shubhadeep.
So you're right in front of my nose, and I told you I like RCB. What is that? I told you I like CSK, and still you wrote that. What do we do with him? Jane de? Or should I change parties? I graduated a fresh year experience, AXA Gobo as an analyst. Okay, I'm a dancer, but after marriage, stopped myself. Who's this? Rupesh?
Yes, sir.
Stop. Oh, very nice to hear. Very good. But stop. Lost myself playing with my daughter. Very good. Somashekar, good. Rupesh, good. Brief summary of yours. Somashekar, I'm so being a graduate from BV Puram College. 1 year experience, interest in playing cricket. Good. Engineering operation, joined GT. Good. Ranjita says analyst, passionate, curious to learn, nuclear, chocolate lover, love to roam, native queen of hills of native to the Queen of Hills, Ooty, and currently staying in Bangalore. Very nice. Working as HR specialist. Still have some time. Get a few more going. Whoever is working here. All of you done? Did I read yours?
I sent, sir. We just changed.
Akshay,
I already done, sir.
you already done. Okay. Which one is that? Ranjan?
Shubhadeep.
Akshay. Okay. Akshay. Okay. Listen less. What is that? Speak less, listen more. Okay. With good observation. But sometimes falls because of short span of absent-mindedness. Like sitting in the first bench, you couldn't recognize that the link was for section A, right? Absolutely agree with you, Akshay. Perfect. You have well defined yourself. Man who looks at fraud risks at Amazon. Very nice. Okay, good. Anyway, oh, lots of them coming in. Chinmaya Hegde. One name that I remember from yesterday's intro. I found something interesting. HR, a lot of interest in finance and investment, chess player, and like to hang out with friends. Bhargava, site engineer at 24. Good at painting, pursued BCom, working as Salesforce. Good. I'll give you another couple of more, and then I'll see them and we'll talk a little bit about it after a few. Let's hit 30. And there you say Preran Raghavendra is already there, fintech company. One more. And we'll move forward. Yeah, there you go. Prashant Ahuja, driven uphill from customer supply to customer support to core IT. Good job, Prashant. Move further up. Cycling my way to success, possibly, right? Cycling my way to development. Average student, Sindhi a foodie. We've all been average students. We've all been brilliant students. We've all been non-performers in our life. Very often, but you've been an exception. Is that's you? Oh, that's you who wrote that. Very nice. This is your chance to move up, redefine yourself, relook at how, if God gave me another chance. And then many a time, God gives cricketers another chance by a review, right? So they can review. But this is your chance to review it and then go. Do I wait for you or are you done? I've been waiting for her to. Are you done? Okay, so what do we do with her? She's sitting right in front of me and busily typing. I can't even ignore her. Okay, I'm going to give you till 2:20. Done. Okay. Okay, never mind. Maybe you can tell about yourself. Oh, there you go. Yogesh. Yeah, Yogesh is something that I love. Guitar, saxophone. Yeah, Yogesh, I think I remember your name out of the intro that you had. I don't remember, but I recall your name. Okay, good one, Yogesh. I recall what you had typed in the earlier one. Senior, this is, and where are you? Still there? Okay. What do we do now? Manoj Bahuguni. Manoj working as a technical lead and 13 years of experience, industrial automation. Good. So let's go along. Is that fair enough? Shall we move or okay?
Yes,
Good,
sir.
because she's so involved, and so I feel it'll be very unfair. So why don't you just read what you have written? Okay. So why don't you take? Okay. Okay, read. Don't stand. Sit and be comfortable. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, very good. Yeah, there you go. But the servers left you down today. Yeah, but you're from West Bengal or you're from Calcutta? Okay. Because I studied in Calcutta. No. IM is not from there. My schooling is from. Schooling is from South Point School, if you know. Okay.
Baliganj, right?
Yes, Maliganj. And how do you know that? Are you from there?
Actually, my native place is Calcutta, sir. I am staying for a job in Bangalore.
Oh, very good. So there you go. Khub bhalo.
Thank you.
Good. Very good. Great. Yeah, and we have God's own country, Sudesh. And I must tell you that I was born in Kerala, Sudesh.
Oh,
There you go. We are all brothers.
Good to hear that, sir.
Yeah, I was in Trivandrum. Of course.
I am part of Palakkad.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, good job done. Great. So, you appreciate Twitter, you appreciate elevator speech, and you move on for it. Okay. But is that what we are here for? We are here to study, right? I sometimes forget that. So we'll start looking a little more seriously into, I have to keep it in a place I don't forget it. Okay, we'll look at a little more seriously about business. A little more seriously about why this marketing is involved in our lives. And how did this marketing thing come up? And to understand that, let's go back to a little bit of an old time in history. I'm going to take you back to the real old time. And let's go back to that. I'm now happy with the presentation mode, actually. I'm beginning to like it. So we go back to the earliest day of civilization. We look at the earliest day of civilization. Man was a hunter, man was a gatherer, man was an agriculturist. If you did not get food, you became somebody else's food, right? It was as simple as that. You either capture somebody and eat, you capture a goat and eat, or a lion would come and eat you. Very tough lives then. And who survived? It was the fittest who survived, right? You were not fit, you were not good enough to run. If you were weak, you just lost out. Then man went into agriculture, man started settling down, and then we not only invented God, debatable subject, we also started having kings. Now the kings, the only thing the king wants is a better quality of life. Now he wants more riches. He wants to give his wife the best of the gold and the best of the things. He wants his palace to have the best of the things. And how does he do it? Tax him. As simple as that. I know Dinesh now. So I said, tax Dinesh. That's it. Now, okay, this year I want more money. Okay, that was taxing Dinesh 20%. Let's tax him 30%. Okay, but all these people are taxed. What do? The neighboring king seems to be doing better than me. Go attack that kingdom. Then destroy that kingdom, swallow all that riches and live, hopefully. Why is it that kind of a life we were leading? Because at that time, there was only a capture of wealth. If I touch this, the screen moves, right? Yeah. Don't tell me, not to touch. Okay. It was always the capture of wealth. And there was no creation of wealth. There was no, because we believed that wealth cannot be created. There's only X amount of wealth that is available. And there was only one concept. I win, you lose. If I have to survive, it is at your cost. There is no theory wherein you survive, I survive. That theory did not exist. Because we believed that there's only so much food available for all of us. There's only so much of gold available. There's only so much of farm land available. And so for me to take it, somebody has to be deprived. So that is how we have all seen that. Even a movie like Lagan, or you look at any kingdom or any king at that time. Only job of him was to either tax or as to invade. That is the only thing that they knew, because that's the only way to create wealth. Till the creation of what is called the credit system. What is credit system? How many of you have credit cards? So you perfectly know what's a credit system. So what is a credit system? What is a credit card? What is the best part of credit card? You can buy now and pay. They give you some time to pay. Okay, stop thinking in those lines. Start thinking like managers. Okay, stop thinking like, oh, good for me. Which credit card is better? The one which gives 40 days credit or the one which gives 30 days credit? Obviously, the 40-day credit is always good. But on the 41st day, you're gone, right? Forget that. So let's not think like normal people, will think like managers. So what's good about credit? What's good about credit card? It manages your accounts. Okay, what else? Anybody online can suggest something? What is good about credit? What is good about credit cards?
Sir, this is Rupesh this side.
Yeah,
If
go
you
ahead,
know,
Rupesh.
if you know how to use the credit card, that is the best thing. Pay within the 1 month.
You're still answering me like an ordinary citizen. You're not answering me like an MBA, potential MBA guy. So what does credit do?
Rotation of wealth in a way.
Rotation of wealth. So can you define rotation of wealth or rotation of wealth?
Well, you have money which you really don't own, but you can take a credit. You can use it for different purpose. You can be a consumer or whatever. And in turn, that money will get rotated in the market while you get time to repay the same. But then the money is now in rotation.
The money
So
is in
wealth is
rotation.
getting.
So who benefits?
The company which is lending, the consumer, the market as well, because when it will be rotated, it would be in different cycles that it will go to till the end customer or the end maybe producer, whosoever is offering service or product.
Perfect. Very good. Any other now? If you're inspired by his idea, any other definition of credit? Actually, I've been thinking of buying a new motorbike. I mean, I feel I'm still young for a motorbike, but I don't have the money.
Hello, Professor. This is Nagendra here. So basically, it encourages you to. It encourages consumers to spend upfront.
It encourages consumer to spend upfront.
Yeah, though they don't have the money at that point in time.
Though that they have the money. Actually, I went to a credit card company. They looked at me, they looked at my bank statement and said, sir, aapko to kabhi nahi milega credit card. So why did they say that to me? Nobody gives me credit card. They come, they look at me and then they look at my, I mean, not true, of course. Don't take it seriously. Okay, so they look at and say, hey, sir, aapko to nahi, bahut mushkil hai credit card. Why did they say that?
आपका सिबिल स्कोर कम है सर.
My CIBIL score is less. Somebody said. What is the other? CIBIL is too complicated. We'll answer it in third time.
Poor credit history.
Poor credit history. One else. What is the one thing that the credit card doubts about?
Ability to repay.
That I may not be able to repay. Okay. So now we are understanding what's good about credit. Credit, by the very fact that somebody gives me credit, my idea of buying a motorbike towards the end of March because I might get a bonus or something, but he walks in and says, why motorbike today? Sasta ja raha hai. I said, paisa nahi hai. Okay, I'll give you credit. I know that the money will hit your bank, your salary will get credited. So I trust that system, and hence I give you the money and you can go ahead and buy the bike, which otherwise I would have bought it in March 15th. I end up buying it already March 15th, maybe something like April, and then I buy it now. So that's one thing. What did I benefit? I benefited because my dream got fulfilled a month earlier. The seller's dream got fulfilled because he was able to make a sale. Imagine I want to buy a house. A house costs 60 lakhs. Can I keep on saving money till 60 lakhs and tell the builder, ruko, paisa aa raha hai, paisa aa raha hai. So That guy will go mad. I'll go mad. But the very fact that the builder knows that I'm a co-founder somewhere, or I work for for KPMG for that matter, and so they trust us. And then there's a credibility limit, as you rightly said. I have a credit limit. I have a certain ranking in the society. That's it. But most importantly, you build up the economy. What otherwise was that there was a limited wealth, there is creation of wealth. There was no wealth all along. There is creation of wealth. So now when the credit system got introduced, the kings got the idea. The kings got some brilliant idea. I think I'll have to move back to the kings got some brilliant. This is again for you to read. These slides are for you to read so that you understand the concept of what the credit is. So the king said, now that's a great idea now. So instead of charging my goldsmith, instead of charging my farmer, instead of taxing him more, let me lend him money. By lending him money, now he can grow more, he can add more pesticides, maybe he can convert to non-agriculture land to agriculture land, and he earns more money, I also earn. So that resulted, especially in the Western world, especially in Europe, it encouraged kings to fund enterprise. That's how East India Company came up. The king said, okay, Mr. East India Company, go ahead. I'll give you 10,000 pounds. Go ahead and start building better ships. So by building better ships, they were able to explore other places, find a place called India, and start colonizing that country. So we guys were stuck in our own land, and foreigners came and invaded us. And what did they do? They took all the raw resources from us, took it to England, and they lived a wonderful life. And whereas we ended in a life of slavery. Not only that, better ships got built, larger ships got built. Why? Because now, there you see, money is coming up. So I'll allow you to build a ship, go on a voyage, 6 months later, rob all that is there in that country, come back and let's share the wealth. Credit was the thing. One of the best examples of this was Columbus. Columbus told that I know a better route to India. Don't go eastward, go westward. So he went westward. Of course, he didn't hit India, but he ended up discovering a wonderful land called America. So there you go, that system. So what happened was there was exploration of new countries. There was new things that were developed, and there was a rich versus poor divide. We became poor, the colonized countries, and the industrialized countries became richer. With credit came innovation. If there is credit, there is innovation. If I always have a gun pointing to her, actually, she struggled over the last 2 minutes because I kept warning her that, shall I wait for you or not? So when there is a system of fear, there is no innovation. There is no one, there is a system of liberty, there is innovation, right? You see, the best innovations come out of the US because of the sense of liberty. So similarly, with credit came the Industrial Revolution. What did Industrial Revolution do? What was otherwise handmade became made by machines. And what somebody could do, if she could make 10 pots in a day, the machine could do 100. So now you had hundreds of things, larger factories, larger machines. And who are your customers? How long will you have a customers in Europe? You had to dump them somewhere. So where do you dump them? You dump them to the colonized countries. So what used to happen is India was famous for its handloom. But once we got colonized, they took the cotton from India, manufactured cotton in their textile mills, and sold it back to us and told us this is what you have to buy. So now they became, and we had no choice because they said they destroyed the handlooms. So now the seller became the king. Whatever the seller sold, we had to buy it. We didn't have an option. The The seller said, I'm going to give you this. You have to buy this. No, sir, I'll produce my own clothing. No, not done. Not allowed. We have to do this. I'm just giving you a very open example to get the concept of where we are getting. The buyer had no choice. And for a long time, even in India, we had a similar situation. There was only one telephone company called BSNL. So did the buyer have a choice? The buyer didn't have any kind of a choice. When would I get my connection? Whatever it is, there was no choice. You had to be at the mercy of the seller. Then what happened? Then came the end of the Second World War. At the end of the Second World War, something dramatic happened. Lots of countries got liberated. Lots of Asian countries got liberated, including India in the year 1957. It got 47, right? Okay, so you're paying attention. Okay, so it got liberated. There were a lot of countries. What happened to these liberated countries? What happened to countries like Japan, and like Germany, or more than Germany, Japan? They became super manufacturing centers. South Korea became another manufacturing center. So now the rich and the poor divide diminished. There was no concept of, there continues to be a concept of rich and poor divide, but that gap got reduced. And there were lots of people manufacturing. So now the seller had competition and the buyer had choice. I could decide from where I buy it. Maybe I'll not buy the G washing machine or the G refrigerator. I'll buy the LG refrigerator. I had a choice. So this is what happened. New markets, new competition. Now the way we do business has changed. Earlier, the way we were doing, it was a seller's market. There was artificial product scarcity. If that company was not manufacturing or not giving you, you didn't know where to buy next. There were limited sources from where you could buy. There was a supply and demand mismatch. There were lots of people wanting it. There were very few suppliers. The seller was the king. But now we have the buyer's market. The buyer decides. There's plenty of products. There's plenty of products. You have 10 choices for doing your educative MBA program. So you decide what is good for you. Then there are unlimited options. The buyer is the king now. The seller is no longer the king. Not only that, it's a globalized world. I know everything about what's happening any part of the world, right? And the buyer not only has choice, he's spoiled for choice. We have unlimited choices available. If I want to buy myself a new motorbike, I have well over 30, 40 models. And if I want to buy a phone, I get phones from 3,000 rupees to 108,000 rupees, whatever that is. There are lots of choices. The buyer is educated. The buyer is not an illiterate guy. The seller needs to please the buyer. No longer can the buyer be at the mercy of the seller. The seller needs to listen to the market. The seller needs to listen to the market. If you don't listen to the market, not buy, as simple as that. Then you need to react to market needs. And finally, you have to perform the act of marketing. Now, let's discuss what is the difference between sales and marketing. Now, can you tell me what's the difference between sales and marketing? Or now try redefining marketing for me, whichever way you want. Sales is a goods which will be sold to the buyer. And what is marketing? The marketing is the product to be launched to the market so that the buyer can. Okay. Any other definition? Sales comes after
Suvish here.
Yeah.
Marketing is forcing to buy a product.
Marketing is forcing you to buy the product. Okay. Anybody else?
Marketing is the process that happens before sales.
Sir,
what is that? Can you repeat that? Can you let her repeat once?
Yes, sir. Marketing is the process that happens before sales.
Marketing is a process that happens before sales. Okay. For anybody else?
So marketing is something which creates awareness about the products and make the customer feel that this is the right product for their use.
Okay. Can you go back and rework on your answer and come back?
Yep, sure, sir.
Customer. Okay. Can you also go back and rework on it? Yeah. Can you come back now? Anybody else? You've been very quiet.
Yeah, sir, I can say,
this group.
so I can say marketing, making the strategy of business and flow, and sales people are doing the groundwork for implement that strategy.
Okay, fair enough. Anything else?
Marketing is hard work. Sales is profit.
Marketing is hard work. Sales is bindas. Okay. We were always told it was the other way around. But anyway,
sir, Rupesh this said, like marketing is showing the awareness about our product and brand, and sales is turning that advertisement into the customers.
Okay, good. Let me give you one example, and then you tell me why this is. Initially, when they were running this, I'm going to give you a strange example. It's a wrong example. I'm just making it easier for that you understand it. I was the one who suggested that the executive MBA program should run from Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And everybody found it very funny. Why?
Sir, because it would consider as regular MBA, not the executive MBA.
Okay, so it is not.
Nalini here, sir.
Okay, so what do you think when I told this statement to the team, said that we should have marketing Saturday, Sunday, definitely no classes, Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. When I told them we should have classes and take a break during lunch hour. So what do you think some of the remarks I would have got? About me, what would have they told about me?
You don't understand.
That's okay. That's fair enough. That's the simplest of the remarks. That I have no idea of no. Give a word without using the word. I have no idea what the customer wants. I have no idea what the customer wants. So then somebody said, brilliant idea. We must know what the customer wants. So let's move Ramesh out of this discussion. Let's bring somebody else. And that somebody else said that we should have classes every Saturday, Sunday for 6 hours or now per day. Then said that may be a good idea, but the customer may not like it because he or she also has to spend time with his family. So let's have classes every alternate week. So now what has happened? Marketing is the act of building your product based on your knowledge of what the customer wants. If there was only one college, if there was only one school, and they said that if you have, that's exactly what was there 20 years back before the executive MBA program came. He had to quit his job, leave his job, go and take a break, study for 24 months and came because there was no other choice available. Now, when there is choice, nobody wants to go to a regular MBA program unless and until there is going to be a vast difference. But if colleges like ours give you the same kind of a feel and delivery, then you have a choice. So once again, can you tell me what is marketing? Marketing is the act of understanding. Marketing is priority of customers' wants and needs. Marketing, selling is priority on the product. Like I was giving the example yesterday, let's say I'm manufacturing this bottle. For some strange reason, I've manufactured this The diameter of this bottle doesn't fit into the car. Now, one fine use is gone.
Sir, Vijay here.
Yeah.
Yeah, just wanted to add one point. If, for example, if I go to Apple or if I go to the automotive companies or any other electronic company, company doesn't know the customer need. For example, when Google opened up the operating system space for the customization, people doesn't know what they can do, but Android is the most usable operating system that's going on today.
Yeah. So we'll get there. I'll explain to you that. I'll explain to you that as well. Okay, but I get your point. So now I hope you guys understand what is marketing versus sales. So coming back to this example, I ended up with a product which was not fitting into it. So what is sales? Is to sell this product. So I go and tell him, sell this somehow or the other. You have no customer interaction. So marketing is understanding what is the customer wants. So now let's look at these examples. Difference between sales and marketing and its impact in our lives. And its impact. I don't know how many of you know this company called ThyroCare. ThyroCare has been there for about 40 years, 40 years. And they are supposed to be the world's largest testing laboratory. So you want to get yourself tested, you want to do your blood test, you want to do all kinds of tests. You will have to go to the nearest ThyroCare center, and they promise you gold standard testing, and the results are always brilliant. Good, great job by ThyroCare. Now, how many of you know Pharmacy? Very well, right? Pharmacy, I don't like their ad, but right, most of us don't like their ad, but we like their product. So Pharmacy says that you want medicines, we'll come and deliver at your house. Now, last week or last month or 6 months back, Farm Easy took over ThyroCare. So how did a company which is over 40 years old and tells that it's the world's largest testing laboratory got sold overnight? Is because they said, my test centers are here. If you want, come and give your blood samples here. But Pharmacy said, I will pick up the blood samples, go to Pharmacy, go to ThyroCare, test it, give you the report over email, over WhatsApp, and also in 6 or 12 languages that you want, whatever it is. So now ThyroCare said, this is the way I live. But the customer says, I don't like the way you deliver it to us. If you do not feel the pulse or what the customer wants, you get bought over. Simple as that. This is what happened in the case of Pharmacy and ThyroCare. Akash is supposed to be the best coaching center for IIT, JEE, and all that. And Akash has all kinds of locations. They have some, I don't know how many of them they have here, but they are supposed to be the biggest in all of this. Now, come pandemic, Akash was virtually out of business. Now, did Akash have the capability? Did Akash have the deliverability? Did Akash know what to do next? They got still stuck. They said, oh, pandemic, I'm just assuming again, think that pandemic will get over in 6 months and we will be able to come up. But no, the customer wants something different. Baiju is delivering it brilliantly. So now Baiju was able to buy in Akash. So the closer you understand the customer, want to know what the customer wants, it is possible for you to do it. So you need to have the pulse on your customer. No better example than this. You have to create value. When you create value for the customer, I see value in ThyroCare, but Pharmacy gives me a greater value. Now, especially I was asking my friend the other day, you doing a testing, which lab are you going? He said, what lab? I'll have this guy come and pick up the blood sample from my house. Brilliant idea. Look at Tata. Air India is a wonderful airline. We always want to fly Air India, but they don't know how to run it. They don't know how to connect with us. They don't serve the best food. They are not friendly. But that is how the airline was 25, 30 years when they were the only airline. But now there are half a dozen airlines. So if you're not good, somebody else will take it. Finally, this is the value of franchise from for IPL. And if you look at the last two teams, that is Ahmedabad and Lucknow, the total value is more than 18,000 crores.
Sir, not audible.
Sir, voice not clear actually. No voice.
So we're unable to hear you online.
Now?
Yes.
Okay, I think I know where the mistake is. It goes off to I need to keep an eye on that blue light. Okay, so back to you. Man has some basic needs. So what are these basic needs? And we had him say that it was food, shelter, and clothes. And of late, we say there are four basic needs. Food, roti, kapda, makan, or mobile. Mobile. Okay. You know what? You know what? You said mobile, right? You said mobile. You know, till previous term, whenever I would say, and I'm really surprised by this, till previous term, which could have been when? It started in November 21. Till previous term, whenever I use this slide, and then I would make this comment saying roti, kapda, makan, or they would all say internet. And now I have you saying mobile, and I have section A saying mobile. So I don't know, maybe mobile is more important than internet. Maybe you can take a selfie and things like that. So good. Yeah. So you see, things are getting added to the list. What is it? Roti, kapda, makan, or internet. I mean, trust me, if I'm working on a PPT in my office, and I don't have a broadband connection or I don't have internet, I can't work. I don't need internet to work on an Excel or a Word document, but somehow no internet means, I feel like I'm kind of cut away from the world. So this is what it is. So needs are, how do you define needs? What are needs? These are the very, very, very basic things that a man wants. If you go down the list, Not only man needs roti, not only man needs a shelter, man also needs to be occupied. Man needs to be occupied. I'll tell her, come now, retire, no longer work, stay at home. She's going to get bored. Even you're going to get bored. Is that there's no point. I'll tell you, I'll give you ₹1,00,000 per month, or it's a ₹2,00,000, but just sit at home and do nothing. Doing nothing is an impossible task. We need to work. We need to energize ourselves. We need to get some of our machines running. Work is a very, very important activity. Second is socialization. We need to socialize. I gave quarantine. The worst thing about quarantine was that you were all alone. You felt cut off. And if you were not smart enough and you didn't understand the power of watching movies, the power of WhatsApp, and you were probably in your old 60s and 70s, then depression would set in. So socialization is a very, very key feature in a man. Man needs it. Of course, he needs a sense of security. He can't feel, he needs to know my job is there or not. I can't go every day saying that kal naukri rahega ya nahi rahega. That kind of a sense of feeling. But eventually, man needs to have power. Man needs to have power. Power is a very, very basic. Okay, you may not see it, may not be visualized. It can be soft power. It can be hard power. You can physically be controlling a certain people, but you can be even emotionally controlling a certain amount of people. So the need for power is a very basic need. Now, what is wants? What are wants? If I explain needs, what are wants? Wants are those which go beyond your basic needs. Like you want food, but actually I want better quality of food, right? I mean, there's no fun in having the same ₹2 rice even for the poor man. The poor man wants something beyond it. The want is there. That's why there is a saying that there is enough in this world for your needs, but not for your wants, right? That's what it is. So wants are those things. What are desires? There's a lot of things desires that. If there are needs, there are wants, there are demands. What are demands? If you understood want, and if there are needs, what are demands? When more number of people are want something, that becomes a demand. Okay, what else? Now that's one good definition. What else is it? Which is not easily be obtained, is it's strongly going for that, is a demand. Demand can also be defined as you have the ability to ask more, and then you ask for it. Somebody who says, how much is this car? Okay, sir, this car is 10,000 or 5 lakh rupees. I'll give you 10 lakh rupees. What can you give me? The demand is that is wanted by the people who have more resources to pay. So if you go by these requirements, the needs, wants, and demands are by somebody who have the ability to pay, to convert wants into demands. So there you see, somebody is willing to pay, he's going to ask for something more, right? I mean, that is a premium thing that you want. A BMW is a demand. Why does BMW exist in a market where there is Nano, in a market where there is a Swift? Why does BMW exist? Because there are people who are saying that I want a lot of other things. That becomes a demand for them, and I'm willing to pay for it. What's the difference between a Rolls Royce and an Alto? Nothing. They all take you from place A to place B, but they want a comfort. They demand a comfort which is not there. So you see that there are all kinds of things. There are wants, there are needs, and there are demands. So this is how do you use wants and needs into marketing? Somebody wants to travel easier. I don't want to take a torch. I don't want to take a camera. I don't want to take a map. I don't want to take all of this. Then somebody comes up and says, I will give you something which takes care of all your things. So when we are able to address his needs in a smarter way, somebody doesn't want to stand in a line for a movie theater. So they give him a book my show, or they give him movies at their home. Or somebody doesn't want to wait too long to go into a restaurant, or restaurants are empty. You know what's happening. Somebody doesn't want to wave his hand for a taxi. There are options available. Somebody said, I keep breaking my phone, but is there a solution for all that? So they came up with Gorilla Glass, which is generally not this one. I don't know how many of you know this. I'll explain this to you more from from the business that I am in. During the Cold War, there was a big fight between Russia and America as to who would go to space first. That was a big thing. Conquering space was a big war between America and Russia, or the Soviet Union as it was called. Eventually, it was Soviet Union which launched the Sputnik. And they said, wow, we are smarter than you guys. We have conquered the space and all that. But how do you trust them? Did they really launch a satellite, or are they telling a set of fib? So then what they did in a particular laboratory in US, they set up a receiver. So what it would do is, as the satellite is going above that place, the strength of the signal would keep increasing. Maybe it'll make some kind of a sound. So those receivers knew that, yes, there is a satellite which is probably coming. The satellite signal would increase. And when it goes away, the signal would fade away. So then they were sure that, yes, there is an object in the sky which is actually moving around. But what do you use this for? Just turn it the other way around and you have a GPS system. A GPS system, now instead of you tracking the satellite starts tracking you and you know where your location is. So you have certain needs which are met, and those needs can be smartly utilized to making it into a better service. There are 3 or 4 types of needs. These needs are stated needs, real needs, unstated, desire, secret, and all of that. What is a stated need? A stated need is I go to a shop and tell him that I want a fast computer. That's the only thing I'm going to tell him. He's going to tell him, but what is the real, when you say, yes, sir, you want a computer? No, of course, but how much is your budget? So I go and tell him, I want a fast computer at a low price, of course. So that's it. But then, is that enough for you to know? Many a time, the customer will not tell you what is his unstated need. He's not going to tell you that this, I need it for gaming. He might tell you that I'm using it for my office, but the unstated need could be gaming. If you are in the business of connecting with your customer, if you note the unstated need, you will be able to get a better connect. Incidentally, out of our 6 classes, we will spend the first 2.5 or 3 classes talking about B2C, that is business to consumer. And then we will move to B2B. Most of us in the work we do, looking at your resumes and intro about yourself, most of you are in the B2B business. But to understand B2B business, B2C is a better way of understanding. So we will move into greater details when we talk about B2C businesses first and then B2B. Now give some examples of various needs and demands. I think we can look at it, or we can just move forward. See, there's some chat messages. Oh yeah, those are the old ones, I guess. Now let's move. How many of you know Maslow's hierarchy of needs? How many of you have heard of it? online. How many of you heard of it?
I have.
No. You have. So what does it say? Can any one of you explain to me Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Whoever raised the hand. I saw you partially raise your hand. Ah. Hmm. Yes. Right, right. This is a typical life of a person. This is a typical life of a. First, I want to make myself comfortable. I want to make sure that I have, as we rightly said, the basic need. I don't have. I don't think. Why? I don't think. None of us in that sector. None of us are in that sector. But there are people who are in that sector. And those were, if you start, I mean, we could go doing a lot of analysis, is that at the end of the first wave, there was a lot of people who actually belonged to this sector and were a little disengaged, and they had to run away from their jobs and had to even walk thousands of miles to go. But this is basic. But then we also know what is the second basic, which is security. I want to feel safe. What if I have the food? What if somebody snatches it? What if I have a place to stay and but somebody comes and robs me? What if I have the money but somebody comes? So that is a second sense of it. But as he rightly said, man aspires. Every man aspires, and his needs become wants, wants become demands. That's an eternal cycle of man. So beyond, once we have reached those states, we want to have intimate relationship. We want to get married. We want to have friends. We want to have friends to hang out with. Because man is a social animal and he has to be comfortable with it. We cannot chain you at home and make you do this. Maybe some of us today are in this stage. But most of us are probably in the next stage. What is that next stage? It's a feeling of accomplishment. Now you want to demonstrate to the world that I've done something. So I want to buy myself a car. I already have a car, but I want to buy another car. Why? Because I want to tell my friends that I'm doing well. I had a Swift. Now I'm buying myself. Which car should I buy? Which one? A lot of options. Maybe I'll buy myself a BMW. Not that it's going to give this, but it's going to give you a sense of accomplishment. I've done that. That's when I go out on holidays. When I move from a smaller house to a bigger house. That's when my lifestyle changes. All of that is a sense of accomplishment. It has to be. What is the purpose of my life? At the end of this, if you look at my life, I struggled into my teenage. I worked hard into my mid 30s. But somewhere I need to demonstrate to the world that, I've been there, I've done that, throw a party, whatever that is called. But after all that, you finally realize that what is life? I'm not going to take anything. I'm going to live back something. And that's when you say you feel a sense of actuation, self-actuation, saying that I'm done. But I still have lots of these money with me. What do I do it? I want to give up. I'm not running behind the money, but I want to leave a legacy behind. So that is what it is. Achieving one's full potential. I am here to do something else. I would rather set up a school. I'd rather set up a hospital. And incidentally, there were two couples who met a premier institute in Bangalore, and each of them gave some 200, 300 crores to set up a hospital and research center in Bangalore. Are you aware of this news? They were in the news for two couples who started IT company, met up with a premier science research institute in India, in Bangalore, to set up a hospital and research center. Any idea? Anybody online?
Indian Institute of Science.
What is that?
Indian Institute of Science.
Indian Institute of Science. They gave Indian Institute of Science 400 crores. But who gave it? Who gave it?
Sudhamurthy?
Sudhamurthy, okay, maybe, I don't know.
Subrato Bakshi.
Yeah, Subrato Bakshi and
there was one more, I don't remember.
okay, one other. So there you go. All of these, Subrato Bakshi and all, came back and said, we've done well in our own lives, but it's time for us to give back. Imagine giving another 400 crores, 500 crores towards what would be a hospital or a research center. Where are they now? They are in the self-actuation stage. But do you think I go and tell him, why don't you give all your savings right now? He's going to laugh at it because he hasn't reached there. He's probably here, he's probably there. So these are what the stages of man is. But what's all this got to do with marketing? Or what's all this got to do with our classes? Depending on the product that you have, you need to look at where are you going to be focusing on. Let's say I'm making softer buns, which are less expensive and easier to eat or cheaper. Who do you think I'm targeting at? I'm probably targeting at these guys. So I'm telling you that February 14th is when I'm trying to give you some nice shopping options or movie options. Where am I looking at? So probably looking at it there, right? Or let's say that change your car, upgrade your car to a better one. I'm already defining that you have a car. So that is at this point. Yeah. So then I go and say, hey, you're from Calcutta, I'm from Calcutta. Then why don't you donate it to ISKCON some 10 crores? Who do you think? Would she be interested in donating 10 crores? No way. But I need to go to somebody like Sudhamurthy or somebody who's got it. So depending on the product, depending on who you're looking at, you have to define it, right? Make sense? Make sense? Okay. So this is what is Maslow's pyramids, and you know what to do with this slide, right? This is a slide for you to read. There's supposed to be another form. I'm just going to ignore it. I'll probably give you guys a form to fill in later on. This is for section B. Now, let's look at another story. Companies that adapted to market needs and wants. So what did we say is marketing? Can one of you in chorus, or let's say if she's not spoken a word, but what is marketing? Yeah, that's marketing. What you're thinking is correct. Say that. Working towards what the customer needs, what the market wants, that is marketing, right? Not just this is what I have, want to take it or leave. That's not going to work, right? So even when you write your assignments, market your product. So this is all I can write. No, work harder. Okay. So now let's look at it. There are companies which have failed. There are companies which are the best of the companies have failed. But we'll try to understand that. You see, the product is the same. Many a time, nothing happens to the product. The product remains the same. It's just how you connect with the customer. And that's what is all marketing is all about. Eating, the food is the same. The dosa is the same. The ingredients of a dosa is the same. The dosa which was prepared 100 years by your grandmother is the same dosa that's being prepared today. But the way it comes to you has changed. Earlier, you had to go to the place. Then there was only one place in whole of Bangalore. Then that guy said, oh, why should you come from all the way from South Bangalore? I'll franchise it. So there was a franchising. But is the food the same? The food is obviously the same. Then somebody said, oh, don't go to bad restaurants. I'll write reviews for you. Then they said, why review? I'll deliver the food at your place. So there you go. And then you have people who's going to deliver food at your place. And now they're saying, why do you even have to exist? There is cloud kitchens. You don't even know where the food restaurant is, which comes to your place. I and Professor Rajan ordered some food this afternoon. It came up in 5 minutes. We're just wondering, where is that restaurant within 5 minutes? We can't think of one. So that is what it is. The way you travel is the same. It's the same aircraft. It's the same thing. But the way the convenience is brought to you is there. Earlier, I had to go to an agent, sit in front of him, and he would give me a ticket. Now there's no agent. There's not even a ticket. I just show it and move. So what has changed is you're listening to your customer and you're delivering your products. So that is what is it. Same product, but the customer connect is different. One example of that is there is this company called Blockbuster. Blockbuster was a CD rental company in US. And they said that you can rent a CD and you have to return it back within a week. And if you don't return it back in a week, I'm going to penalize you. So we had this Netflix owner who went to return back the CD. His name is Reed Hastings. When he went to return it back after a week, they almost charged him twice the cost of the CD. I said, there's something wrong with this model. How can you guys take me for a ride and penalize me for this act? So he created Netflix, in which you could walk into a shop, take the CD and just drop it in a cover and just send it off. So he made one part of the delivery easier. Now, of course, you know what he did. Netflix not only gives you, he gives you movie on demand, right? So that is how you become customer centric. Look at this. Same product, the promotion is different. I work from a WeWork office in Koramangala. Any one of you have a work out of WeWork? What does WeWork say? That you pay for the desk and you get unlimited coffee. What does Starbucks say? Pay for the coffee and sit on the desk. It's the same service. Nothing is there. What is the difference between Vodafone, Airtel, and Jio? Vodafone said, pay for voice and data is free. Jio said, pay for data, voice is free. So we value data more than voice. Over the last 10 years, the number of voice calls has just dropped. We're only doing data. Jio understood that business. Jio understood it. But even before that, there was Tata Docomo. You know how the billing was? That I just call her and say, hey, do we meet this evening or not? And she would say, no, we are busy. Over. It's a 10-second call. But they would bill us for 30 seconds or 1 minute. Then Tata Docomo said, hey, other companies are taking you for a ride. And I remember during my very initial times that I would make sure that I talk for a minute because I'm paying 17 rupees per minute. So, but now then Tata Docomo said, no, you talk for 10 seconds, I bill you for 10 seconds. What is it? Has anything changed? Nothing. It's just that how they are marketing the solution. You will have to keep moving your head left and right every time I go. I'm sorry, huh? Yeah, you only. I noticed that. Maybe you can sit here. Yeah, or maybe I'll avoid going that side because every time, poor guy, he keeps moving his head. So the other thing is same product, but the promotion is the driver. Holiday comes, and what do you do during holidays? You tell your children that there's an ad which comes saying that if you buy Boost, you get a badminton racket. So now, does that child go to the shop because he likes Boost? It's the badminton racket. So that way you're promoting the sale. So the product is the same, but you drive the promotion. I'm told that the Kinder Joy, nobody eats the chocolate. They all play with the toys, right? So now you have screen replacement. Samsung said, you drop your phone, we'll replace your screen. You think they're giving it to you free? They're building it but they are promoting screen replacement. So it's all about how you play with the product. This is another one. Same product, but a different user. What does that mean here? A bottle of head shampoo will cost you 75, 80 rupees. Now, who can afford 75, 80 rupees? Can the poor people afford 75, 80 rupees? No. So it's a smart guy from a company called Chick said that I will put it in a sachet for 1 rupee. Is the shampoo any different? No, the shampoo is not different. Instead of targeting the people who can afford 80 rupees, he's targeting people who can afford 1 rupee. So you see, nothing has changed. It's just the way you start delivering it. Look at this. Tata Nano. What did Tata Nano say? Oh, you are such a poor guy. You have a two-wheeler. You family of 4 of you are sitting in the car, on the scooter. I know you're so poor. So I'll give you a car for 1 lakh. So now he goes and buys a car. So I said, kya yaar, itna poor hai kya tu ki nano le raha hai? You see, that's the image that he created. He said, the poor guy who cannot afford a good car, I'll give you a car at 1 lakh. That was a wrong promotion. He should have told, if you buy a nano car, you will pollute less. You will feel that you're doing good for the society. You will feel that you are occupying less space. This guy says, my other car is a Jaguar. But what should have been is that the Jaguar guy should have been guilty, saying that I'm driving such a big car, my other car is a Nano. That is the way he should have advertised. But you see, the product positioning is wrong. We will start understanding all these terms in our next classes. How do you position your car? Or how do you position your product? How do you price your product? How do you segment your product? How do you play around with all of this? These are finer discussions there. Then nothing like this. Product. Who doesn't like a Nokia phone? A Nokia phone is a perfect phone for somebody like me who grew up when the mobile came up. But Nokia was such an arrogant company. It said that I am a leader. I know what's good for you. Just like somebody said, sir, Apple doesn't know what Apple introduces products. Can that person mention his name? Somebody, the problem with Google is Google never listens to customers. They come up with a product and then the customers have to know how to use the product, right? That is because there are very few people in this world who can think better than the consumer can think. There are very people. There are 1, 2, or 3 people. Maybe the Google guys, maybe Steve Jobs, or you know what? How many of you know Henry Ford? Who is Henry Ford? Yeah. So what did Henry Ford famous for? For making mass production of cars. Yeah, so he knew how to produce hundreds of cars. So he once told that if I ask my customer, who was his potential customer? His potential customer, listen to me very carefully, and especially to the person who told me that Google and Apple don't listen to the customer or don't ask for the customer. So who was the potential customer of Ford? There were no car owners. It was a horse-driven cart owner, right? Before they bought the cars, they were riding on horse carriages. So you go and ask the owner of a horse-driven cart, what do you want? He'll say, I want more horses, because he cannot think about cars. So that is why Ford said that if I ask my customer, what do you want? They'll say, I want more horses, but I know what the customer wants. So he was able to think beyond the customer. There are very, very few people who are so brilliant. And look at Elon Musk, kind of risk that he took by going all electric now. And look at the way he has been able to do it. But look at Nokia. Nokia was a super leader. And everybody went to Nokia and said, I want dual SIM. So Nokia said, no, why do you want dual SIM? One SIM is enough for you. I said, who are you to decide? I want a dual SIM. He refused to listen to it. People moved to another product. People moved to Nokia and said, please don't. Symbian is not current. Symbian is boring. Move to another operating system. Nobody was willing to listen to him. So it moved on. So there you go. And then we probably have companies which failed. Maybe we'll discuss it for now or we'll move ahead. Let's see what is next. Then we look at marketing and its impact. What is marketing and its impact? Okay. So are you following me till now? Are you guys doing okay? You want another break? Somebody wants another 5-minute break? Or you're good to continue? We'll go till about 4:10, 4:15. Okay, that's another half an hour, 45 minutes. Okay, online, fair enough?
5 minutes break.
Yes, fine, sir.
Somebody online wants a 10 minutes break.
No,
5
we,
minutes, 5 minutes breaks required. 5 minutes breaks required.
What will you do in those 5 minutes?
Only just eating tea. That's all.
Okay, you're just heating tea. What do we do?
Drink, yeah.
Even he wants. Okay. Oh, let's take a 5-minute break. We'll see you all exactly at 3:45. 3:45. Okay. Good. See, customer feedback. What are that? Good. Okay. So there you go. We are here. Now let's get into the last section of, not really the last, but maybe something. Now look at this graph. Does everybody understand this graph? What does this mean? Can somebody explain this graph online? Let's see. Let's have the online guys explain the graph to me. In the meanwhile, one of you will also get ready to answer.
As the consumption is more, price reduces.
Yeah.
And if the demand is less also, then price increases.
I didn't bring up the demand curve. I just brought the price to consumption curve.
Price is inversely proportional with consumption.
Yeah. So the price of a product reduces, consumption of that product would reduce. If you make not petrol is a wrong word. We'll discuss about the impact of fuel in our lives, because fuel is a very funny thing. Fuel, like electricity, you will continue to pay up or down the prices. That's more complexity. We'll talk about it in the next class. But which means that for easier purposes, let's say broadband services or mobile internet charges come down, you'll spend more time watching movies or chatting or whatever it is, consumption. Very clear, right? No confusion. So this is, you know what it is. It's for you to read. But there are exceptions to the rule. There are exceptions to the rule. Price falls, consumption rises. That's what we discussed now. Price falls, consumption falls. What the hell is this? Why is that happening? When the quality or your assumption that why are they giving? Now, if let's say Nano comes back and says available for 25,000 rupees. Will you buy it? Something wrong. Why would you give me otherwise? What is that? T-shirts, US Polo T-shirts or Van Heusen T-shirts, 200 rupees per dozen. You're laughing at it. So beyond a point, you're not going to trust him. There's something wrong with it. So you're not going to jump and buy. But if I told you that US Polo T-shirts or Van Heusen T-shirts, 3,999 now available at 3,500, meaningful sense, right? You will buy it. So price falls, consumption falls under circumstances. But now price rises and consumption rises. What is that? Brand value. Or give me an example of that.
Petrol.
What was that? What did she say? I didn't hear.
Petrol.
Petrol. Just because the price increases, you're not going to go holidaying more. No. Petrol will not discuss petrol because that's a consumption product, like electricity.
iPhone.
Yeah. So how does the iPhone price increase result in more sales?
Well, assumption was that it's going to be coming with more features, more advanced technology, and would definitely be worth the money. So hence the pricing is higher because of the content, whatever it is going to, the features which is going to provide. And people did line up to buy it in more quantity.
Yeah, correct. You're right. You don't have to defend yourself. You say that strongly. That's right. There's certain brand which have that perception. The very fact that, wow, iPhone 14, 2,15,000. Wow, great price, man. They should be having something else in it. But you don't know, right? So there are certain things. For us to understand that better, let's go into the next slide. There are two occasions, and listen to me very carefully. I'm getting into finer details. There are two categories of goods which fall under this category: price rise, consumption rise. There are two categories, and they are under the category of Griffin goods and Veblen goods. Now, what are Griffin goods? Griffin goods are low value products. Griffin goods are low value products, which when the price of that product increases, people will buy more. They are very low value products. But very funnily or very strangely, these low value products meant for the lower sections of the society, when that price increases, people start buying more. Now, for you to understand better, let's look. Griffin goods are inferior goods, but not all inferior goods are Griffin. But remember, Griffin goods are inferior goods. Let's look at this example. Let's look at a family whose total expenditure is $400. They buy rice and wheat, correct? They know that rice is a major consumption in the family and they love to eat wheat. Okay, so in a typical day or a typical month, they consume 40 kgs of rice and they consume 10 kgs of wheat. Rice costs $5, wheat costs $20, and hence their monthly expenditure is $400. Now rice becomes $6. So they consume the same amount. Now they have to pay $440. But how much money do they have? They only have $400. So what will they do? They will reduce their expenditure on wheat and increase the consumption of rice. So now what happened? While the price of rice was $5, they bought 40 kilos. When the price of rice became $6, they bought 43 kilos because they sacrificed on another item, which is wheat, which they reduced. So Griffin goods is an example of inferior goods which make this pattern. I hope you guys are following. But Veblen goods are other kinds of goods, exactly like the one you talked about, the iPhone. Veblen goods are positional goods. You know, the new BMW now is 6 lakhs rupees more. So I am going to tell you, you have a BMW 5 or you paid 43. Oh, I have a new BMW 5, which is 48 lakhs. So I am proud of the fact that I paid more, like diamonds, gold. So Veblen goods are those goods which are luxury goods, position goods, and they are giving a positive effect when you buy it at a higher price. So these are the two examples I want you to listen. One more example of marketing. Why do position goods behave because they are marketed better, they are projected better. And so a price to consumption curve becomes non-linear because of marketing, right? So one more example of one more addition of the marketing definition is price to linear. Are you all following me? Very important. I'm spending 3 hours of my class on the subject of introduction of marketing, because you go into supply chain management, you go into branding, you go into international marketing, you go into all of this. If you do not understand your basics properly, you will be there. If you've been in engineering and if you didn't understand, if you didn't understand calculus when you were in college, the rest of your engineering is gone. PU, that is. So please pay attention. I'm willing to explain it many times if you haven't understood all of that so far. Any questions?
Yes, sir. Sir, about the Giffen and Veblen that you explained, are these some terms relative to something? I mean, how was it originated, if you could just tell us?
There are 2 guys who discovered this idea.
Okay.
Griffin is a guy who found out that even when the price of inferior goods like rice or basic potatoes, when the price of them increased, he noticed that the consumption didn't really fall. Then he realized that people sacrificed maybe paneer and had potatoes, more potatoes. So they are basic terms by the guy called Griffin who came up with this idea, and a guy called Veblen, right? Okay. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now there are all kind of maverick CEOs, just like I was saying. I don't know how many of you know Richard Branson. Richard Branson is from Virgin Atlantic. I think it's time for Richard Branson. One more thing. Thank you, Dinesh, right? So thank you, Dinesh, because in class section A, nobody knew Richard Branson, but everybody knew Elon Musk. So I guess it's time for Richard Branson to retire from this slide and have him replaced by Elon Musk. So when I say Elon Musk, what comes to your mind? Yeah, don't think for a moment. What comes to your mind? SpaceX, Tesla, and Star City, or whatever those wonderful things that are happening. When I say Steve Jobs, Apple, beyond Apple, what does it say? Branding, fine products, lovely thing. You know what they say? Apple, the creation of Apple resulted in the destruction of one particular section of a product or a piece of information that would go along with the equipment. What was that? Let me try. Operating. No. Let me rephrase this. With the introduction of products from Apple, inside the packaging, one particular item continued to be missing. No, don't. Of Apple products per se. I mean, I'm kind of very hard to understand this quiz or whatever it is that, okay, let me try explaining. Apple products are so designed that you don't need an operating instruction. The Apple products are so designed that you don't need a manual. So they are so designed that they exactly know where the customer will look for it. And even the most illiterate customer is able to use an Apple system compared to another device. So that is the kind of thing. And I speak out of experience myself, is that my father-in-law, he was playing around with all kinds of mobile phones. He would never work with it. The moment we gave him an iPad, he knows exactly what to do. No teaching. That's nothing to do with my father-in-law, but that talks about how brilliant the products are designed. So that is what comes to our mind when there is Steve Jobs who gets there. So beyond brands, any reason Any idea what brand of computer is this?
Bio?
Brio? Okay, or Lenovo or Dell? One computer brand that it is not. Which brand it will not be? Why? Because no Apple customer would put the sticker on his, right? Because he wants to show you that I have an Apple. And you know, I'll tell you how brands have evolved. Let me try to explain this in a slightly better way. The first laptop that I had was a HP. The first laptop that I had was a HP. And if you look at a laptop, it's something like this, right? You have the top of the laptop, and then you have it ending up like this. And normally, it's mentioned as HP. Initial laptops were designed in such a way that the user would know what is the brand. I'm really surprised as to how. This is the way it is. So when I close the laptop, I can make out which is the brand. But now laptops are designed in such a way that when you open the laptop, the others can know which brand that you're using. So you see what Apple did from a very, very basic standpoint. So I always keep telling this joke, and there's only one answer for it. I was telling that in our previous class, so I'll give you an example. So I need to pick up somebody from the crowd here. So let me pick you up. What's your name? Tirumale. So Tirumale, where are you working? I'm working for Bosch. Oh, perfect. Great. Wait, which division are you in? Automotive electronics. Good. So this Tirumale has been asked to go to Bombay for a very important meeting. And so he goes to, he's just been promoted. I'm sure that'll happen very soon for you. Don't worry. So he's supposed to go to Bombay, and he goes to the airport, and he's gone very early, but because of your RT-PCR test and all that, he's got delayed. He's almost the last guy to go to the airport, to the gate. People are calling out, Tirumale, last call, Tirumale, and they're calling him. And then Tirumale goes there, gate number 5 or 6. Which gate was that? Okay, so gate 5, he goes there. There are a lot of people in gate 4 and gate 6. He goes there, but he doesn't immediately go and check in. He sits there, opens his laptop, just checks his mail, and then shuts it. What brand of laptop does he have? Apple, right? Would he do that with a Dell? Would he do that with a Lenovo? No, it's because he is demonstrating to the world that I have a Apple. So what does that mean? What does that mean? That the user promotes the brand. User promotes. Who is talking about Apple? The professor has been talking about Apple and promoting Apple for the last 15 minutes. We have been talking about Apple. The user promotes the brand. Who do you think is the brand ambassador for Apple? There are no brand ambassadors for Apple. Who is a brand ambassador for Vivo? Or who is a brand ambassador for something? It could be Hrithik Roshan or somebody else. This brand doesn't need a brand ambassador. Each one of you are a brand ambassador. That is what the brand does. It becomes a cult. People write Harley Davidson on tattoo their hands. And what happens? Whose product is being sold? It's Harley Davidson. This is what is beyond brands about. We will discuss brands in our class number 5. And we'll look at how do we build a brand. Then there is this last discussion, and then we'll go. I want you all to get actively involved. Everybody's looking at their watches, but unfortunately it says 1:30 to 4:30, right? Can't do much about it. So what is good about marketing? What is bad about marketing? Tell me. One answer from here, two answers from here, one answer from here, and three answers from online. Good, bad about marketing. What is good about marketing? Perfect. Very good. You know what's there in the market. Yeah. That get Tirumalai, what is good about Bosch? Quality. So what is good about marketing? Very quiet section. You guys discuss among yourself and come up with one answer. Okay. What about you? Guys, what is bad about
Salaries are good at marketing.
But yeah, go ahead. Tell me.
Salaries are good about marketing.
Salaries.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, maybe she's perfectly right. And you're going to decide it in the next 5 seconds. Why is salary good about marketing? Why? Why? Go ahead and answer it.
Marketing efforts kind of contributes towards revenue generation.
Marketing, we'll say that again.
Marketing contributions
in revenue generation. Okay,
yes.
Good. But somebody was talking about salaries. Go ahead and tell me. You're probably right.
So these are the most sought after jobs, and
oh, you saying the marketing guys get the best of the salaries?
Yes, sir. I mean, I would, yeah, yes.
Okay, now I need to now tell you one. I need to share with you one graph. But before that, let me know who you are. Where are you working?
Sandhya, sir, from TE Connectivity.
Okay, Sandhya from
TE Connectivity.
TE Connectivity. Okay, and let me say where connect. How long are you working with TE Connectivity?
It's been 2 years, sir.
Okay, I'll tell you a story. Okay.
Sure.
At the end of this story, why you should take your job seriously.
Oh, okay.
No, not take your job seriously. Why you need to take your course seriously? Okay, it's been found. Now, Sandhya, listen. It's been found that people in marketing, okay, quote unquote, these are statistics, okay. It's been found that people in marketing, almost at the end of 4th year or 5th year, two things will happen to them. They'll either go to a next level within the organization, or they will be captured or stolen or kidnapped from that organization to another organization with a much higher pay scale, or in most cases, over 50% of them will have to go and look for another job. Because some of their marketing ideas, some of their marketing assumptions didn't really do well with the outcome of the product. Right? So what happens? Why do marketing? Okay, so final question. Why do marketing companies or marketing guys get paid the most? In the opinion of Sandhya, and also in my opinion. But they have the most dangerous job. Why is it?
It's a field work.
Yeah, because this is one thing, and I actually have this slide, Sandhya, for tomorrow. That is our next class. But I'm going to, yes. They are exactly, not only are they representing the company, they are the only connect. They are the only connect. There is this computer. There is this computer. The computer has got X, Y, Z, A, B, C, all components which are working with each other, talking to each other, RAM talking to the DRAM, all that stuff, everything, a nice display and all that. Then there is this small thing called Wi-Fi. This is the only thing that connects you to the external world. Poor girl, her Wi-Fi did not connect properly. She had a brilliant 180 word resume. She had some greatest jokes. She was supposed to be then. It's the Wi-Fi which let her down. The Wi-Fi is nothing but the marketing. It's the interface. Listening to the customer. Who listens to the customer? Do you think the guy in production listens to the customer? Do you think the account guys ever listens to him? He wants the bank manager to listen to him. Where the hell is he listening to it? Do the HR guys are listening to the customers? HR guys don't even listen to you, right? So the only thing which listens, the only thing, and let's say this Wi-Fi says Wi-Fi A and Wi-Fi B. This Wi-Fi says Wi-Fi B is a better link. It will go to Wi-Fi B, right? So if the marketing guy says, sir, don't buy from this company, buy from another company, over, you've made a decision for somebody. So the marketing guys are the ones who's going to tell you. I'll give you one more example, and maybe I have to be in line with the other class, but I'll give you one more example and we'll tell you why marketing is so very important. I told you that Nokia was doing very badly. I mean, Nokia was doing brilliant, isn't it? Nokia was doing brilliant. 90% of all Indian phones were from Nokia. And then it collapsed, zoop, zoop, zoop. It went to 5%, 3%, 2%. Then Nokia said, I'll come back. They sacrificed the Symbian and they introduced Android and it went up. How much? 7%, 8%, 9%. Now what happened to Nokia? Dead. I'll tell you one reason why they died. By experience, I'll tell you why they died. I loved Nokia phones so much. And when my wife wanted to change her phone, at this stage, when Nokia had Android, we went and bought a phone. The phone came with a charger. The charger was a 3-pin charger. Now tell me, how many homes have bedrooms with 3-pin, which is next to your bed? How many desks have 3-pin connection? Shouldn't the marketing guy in Nokia be aware that homes don't have 3-pin? Shouldn't he be smart enough to tell them that you should come up with a 2-pin? Whose mistake is it? Is it the mistake of the finance? Is it the mistake of the manufacturing? It's the input which was a mistake. So now imagine that marketing guy who's happily sitting with a nice salary. If he doesn't pay attention, you know what's going to happen. So Sandhya, you're right. You get paid, but be careful, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good. So enough of that. Let's move into dislike marketing. So you spend more than you can afford. Somehow, you know, if I'm having an iPhone 12, but I'm feeling miserable now. I don't want to show it because iPhone 13 is there. But I'll have to sell a kidney to buy that. So there you go. That's the problem. The second is brand differentiation, where it doesn't exist. That namak. What is the difference between two bottles of mineral water? It's all the same. They create a brand deception. You know, like Evian water. I mean, how many of you know what's Evian water? How much does it cost? About 90, whereas Bisleri costs 10 rupees. But it's all the same water, right? The same source. Then, yeah. So guys, read about it. It, as she rightly said, generates jobs. Marketing generates jobs. Marketing lets people spend more money. Marketing promotes trade. Marketing upgrades lifestyle. That's all good things about marketing. What is marketing? I'm running through these last 2 pages. Marketing is you market a city, like visit Dubai, God's own country. You're excited about it. Market a person, like Lata Mangeshkar Live or something like that. Then you market an event, China Olympics or whatever that is. You talk about it. Then you market a political event. Abki Bar Modi Sarkar is kind of an ad, right? And you also market a social thing, right? End polio now is a social marketing. It's good for you. No smoking. Smoking is injurious for health. But what if they put up an, so you see, earlier, smoking is injurious to health was an ad that was come in the beginning of the movie, but that's not impactful enough. So whenever they show you a scene where somebody is smoking, they want to emphasize. So that is, what else is that? Marketing the importance of not smoking. Finally, we'll talk about one product and we'll call it a day. Maybe exactly in time. I guess all of you have moved into the class.
Voice is not clear.
Professor, you're inaudible.
Not audible.